Hey guys, it's your girl, Borderline Brown Girl, and I am back. Final. So thanks for looking at my first video if you did, and if you didn't, really? No. Um, um, yeah, the first one was just an introduction, and I guess that's why it's taken me so long to kind of do the second one and the follow-up videos because I guess the first one was kind of triggering. Um, that made me nervous. um, no, I was just thinking of, how do I really talk about the issues that I want to talk about and be presentable and blah, 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 blah. But then I started reading a book. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And so far, pretty effing great. Um, it just basically said, don't care. Bad hair, don't care. Um, and it's like, do it or don't, but, whatever. It's like my little friend Yoda. There is no try, you know? So I'm just doing it. And I guess the first topic that's been really on my mind the most has been narcissism. Trigger anyone? But more importantly, it's the situation of being the daughter of a narcissistic mother in particular, but parent in general, And okay, so this topic is very dear to me because, well, surprise, my mother's a narcissist. And the more I live, mm, and the more I go out and talk to other people, I find out that a lot of us have really fucked up parents. A lot of our parents really had no business having us. I mean, thanks, because we're here. But no thanks, because it's been a roller coaster. Um, and so, in particular, like I said, my mother, I don't know if she's diagnosed, but I've diagnosed her. Okay. And it's been really difficult because a lot of the treatment I got as a kid I thought was normal. I thought it was normal to have a mom that would make mean jokes about you in front of other people, or her favorite way to show affection was pretending to beat me up. Like, for example, she loved Mortal Kombat. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not much of a gamer myself, but I did like Mortal Kombat a little bit. Maybe because she liked it so much and I wanted to be like her. But she would put on the blood coat. She would wait until I got home from school and be like, hey, love of my life, apple of my eye, do you want to play a game? And I'm like, yeah, I love games. And she's like, I know one. And then she put on Mortal Kombat, and I was like, okay, cool, video games, this is nice. But then, like, blood would be coming out, and I didn't like that. But the worst part about everything is that we would be in public, and she would she would scorpion me, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you've ever played Mortal Kombat, then you know what I'm talking about. Get over here in public. Like, for real. She would really do that. Even up until a few years ago, Like, okay, maybe it's funny, but I didn't actually find it very funny. It was kind of traumatizing. Um, and yeah, like, she would just confuse me by asking me what I wanted, but somehow always getting what she wanted or wanted me to have. Like, she would present a situation like, "Oh, look, apple of my love of my life. Let's go shopping." And okay, let's go shopping. And she was like, "Oh, I want you to pick out anything your little heart desires because I love you so much." And then while I'm looking for what I want, like probably some big ass high top boy looking shoes, because that's how I roll. But then she'd come over with some like lacy, weird, or some just something I didn't like. And then she's like, "What'd you get?" And I'd show her. She's like, "But what do you think about these?" And I'm like, they're okay. Well, I mean, but look, I mean, and the ones you got, they're very expensive, and these are cheaper, and look, they're really cute too, and they have like a little bow on it. It's so cute. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, it's fine. I'm like, well, no, don't just get it because I said so. Get it because you want it. And I'm like, but I don't really. Well, you know what? I don't even. I just can't even. I don't even want to deal with. Okay. Insert tears and crying profusely. Like, that alone is enough to make a sane person scramble their mental eggs. Like, honestly, it really, ugh, it's mental gymnastics and warfare. And up until I started really working on all of this, I couldn't even go to a restaurant. Like, no joke. Like, going to a restaurant was triggering for me because if the menu had more than two options, then I was stuck. And then the poor waitress would have to come over like, "Are you guys ready? Are you ready yet? Are you ready?" And yeah, so I just stopped eating out. I just started ordering food and eating in my bed like a slob, which I still do. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so like, I just wanted to draw attention because I know my generation, Generation X, we were the first real generation to grow up on television. Like our parents, or yeah, they worked, both of them. If you had them, I only had my one mom. And like, I didn't grow up with my dad because, well, she's a narcissist, and my dad was like, "Fuck that." And so it was just me, her, and my sister, a house full of estrogen and raw emotion. And I was always, the super chilled one. I like secondhand stuff. I wasn't interested in, material things, which was really hard for my mother to understand because my sister, who's 4 years older than me, she's very materialistic. Like, I can't believe we came from the same womb, materialistic, eh? And so my mom could sometimes bribe her with things, like with money or trips or all these things, but like she could never do that with me because I didn't give a fuck. I mean, F. Can I say fuck? I'm gonna say it, right? Okay. Um, and so it was really hard for her to bribe me to get me to do what she wanted me to do because it wasn't my thing. Now, if she had some candy, then we'd be in business, but she liked licorice and that's nasty. So, yeah, like, it's been really difficult because just last May, I guess, the end of April of last year, I packed up my stuff for the second time and completely left the United States. I'm currently living in. So, um, I'll never tell. No, I'm living in Germany, and it's been a trip. Like, I actually ended up living in Europe for about 8 years. I wouldn't say specifically to get away from her, but it helped. Um, I learned a lot of independence, which I always have been, but like, I found out how strong I actually am. And, over those, I lived there for what, 7 years? And then I took a 2-year break, went back to the States to be closer to my family. I'd learned, maybe it was me. Maybe I had a horrible attitude. Maybe I had a really bad temper. And maybe some of the things that we couldn't work out were my fault or something that I could have done better. And so then I go back home to be closer to my family. My sister almost immediately moves to Japan. Bye. But she left me a really nice place to live, and my mom was just one state away in Florida, and I was in ATL, shout it. And yeah, I thought everything was gonna be great. I thought we were gonna build a really good relationship and be really close and stuff again, because up until college, we were best friends. And then college happened, and I started not listening to her, um, doing whatever I wanted to do, and she really didn't like that. And I didn't understand that until recently. So the last 2 years, I was living at home thinking, oh, she's one state away, and like we'll talk. Like this woman would literally call me, dump all of her verbal diarrhea onto me, and then be like, okay, I'm done talking to you, bye, and hang up the phone. And so that's when I started to realize, like, there's some, like, you didn't see me for 7 years, and now maybe you're just trying to prove to me that I don't know what it was, but when I realized you're a freaking narcissist, you are narcissistic personality disorder personified. So I packed my stuff and I left. And I haven't really had contact with her since last year. And a lot of the specialists say, sometimes it's best to just go no non-contact. And that just means nothing. Nothing. And they will try to slip into your DM and be like, oh, I miss you, blah, blah. Don't believe the hype. They're lies. They're lies. Because this just happened to me last week. And I guess that's why I really wanted to like share this message. But the point is, and I'm going to keep this kind of short, um, is that our generation, we're the last generation of, respect your elders, children should be seen, not heard, speak when you're spoken to, don't talk about grown folks' business, blah, 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 blah. And we would have never considered to say a bad word against our parents. But today, I encourage you all to say, my parent, insert mom or dad, or both, fucking sucked as parents. Because we're allowed to say that. And the more that we can be honest with that, the more we can start to clean up whatever goo we have trapped inside of us. Because for a long time, I felt very gooey. Didn't feel good because I had to say my mom was the best and that she was wonderful and that I liked how I was treated. But I didn't. And she's not. She's not even nice. I mean, granted, I survived. Barely. And I'm still working on that. But I think it's time for us to just acknowledge bad behavior from wherever it comes from. Whether it's from, let's say, the people who go to your church, for example. Like, if they give you a gooey, icky feeling, fucking leave. You don't have to stay there. If your parents are giving you a hard time and making you feel less than who you are or making you feel bad about just being who you are, fucking leave. Because parents are people too. And they don't have any more right than some regular person down the street to treat you badly. And unfortunately, if you've been abused by your family, and narcissism is abusive, the only difference is there's no scars to prove it. And that's what's really hard to kind of deal with because it's all internal. Um, but yeah, like if somebody walks past you and you're like, oh, you're terrible and I hate you, and you sing, like, you might be like, excuse, you know? So I think it's important that we do that to our parents as well. I'm not saying be disrespectful. I'm not saying go out of your way to be mean. That's not my style at all. But it is, we say, call a spade a spade. And it's been really tough. No contact for a year. And, but it's been really helpful talking to my friends, seeing that I'm not the only one who had a narcissistic parent, who was treated badly as a child, who didn't feel good. And as an adult, we are now suffering the consequences of that bad behavior. And so I guess this is kind of the direction that I want to take it. And please, in the comments, like if you know what I'm talking about, holla. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Holla. I want this to be a platform for all of us to be able to talk about some of these things. Let's call it a social psychotherapy session, right? Like we can all help each other heal. And I think when you talk to your peers, it's a lot less it's a lot less stigmatized as opposed to going to like an office with a therapist. And tell me, how did that make you feel? Mhm. Well, time's up. Like, but if we can share our experiences here or somewhere, I don't know where, it doesn't have to be here, but I'd like it to be. So, watch and subscribe. Um, but the more we talk about it, the more we can clean and the more we can become better healed people and even consider creating other healed people. But, like this, I don't even want to have children. I mean, I never really did. But growing up and then dealing with all of this in, let's say, the past decade, I was like, oh, bump all that noise. If this is what being a parent's about, I quit. And it's the same as what I did when I was in church. I grew up super religious, and when I was about 15, some like really shady shit happened. And I was like, yo, if this is what being a Christian's about, I quit. And I went and searched for my way to express and to celebrate this beautiful, magnificent universe that we live in, and to get closer to the divine energies that surround all of us. So I just really want to heal and to help others heal and to let other people know you're not alone with your shitty parent. Girl. No, boy. We are in this together. And I just want to let you know. Parents just don't understand.